Good morning, everybody. Y'all can do a little bit better than that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 20th anniversary of the National Black Prelaw Conference. I cannot believe that it's been 20 years. My name is Ashley Cloud. I am the CEO and founder of the Cloud Law Firm, and I also go by your fashion attorney. Before I jump in, I want to say one thing to everybody here. I want you to look to your left and to your right. I want to see you do it. And I want you to congratulate each and every person that you see that made it right here. Yes. Congratulate yourself. Congratulate yourself for being brave enough to make your dreams come true. Everybody can't do it. We already know that if this was an easy route, everyone would be doing it. But y'all are set apart, and y'all are meant to be exactly where you are. And you're all gonna have your own journeys, but this is where it begins. So 15 years ago, I sat exactly where you are. I attended my very first National Black Prelaw Conference. 15 years ago, I was 5, but I was a child prodigy. So I was about to graduate from the University of Houston, and I knew that I wanted to be an attorney. I didn't know how, though. It was just like this thing that I wanted to do, but like me being where I was to getting to becoming an attorney was I was clueless about it. So at the time, I was just graduating from the University of Houston, and I attended the conference for the first time. The first time I attended the conference, I walked away more inspired than ever. Attending the conference was the first time my dreams started to feel real. Seeing other Black lawyers, judges, and law students really lit a fire inside me, and I was more motivated than I had ever been. So most importantly, I walked away with a plan. So that's one thing that you should already be doing as you're here. Everyone's leaving a lot of gems. Make sure you take those, everything that you're learning, all the notes that you're gonna take, and really chart out a plan for yourself after you leave this conference. It's so important. I started telling my close friends and family about the conference, how life-changing it was, and how I was determined to becoming an attorney and have my own practice. And then the worst thing that has ever happened to me happened. I lost my father. He passed away from a rare neurological disease at the age of 49. Losing my father was devastating, and it turned my life upside down. Not only did I lose my best friend, but I lost hope. See, that disease that my father had ran in my family for generations. So it became more real to me that I could also get this disease as well. And because of that, I had a 50% chance of also having the same fate as him. And so at that point in my life, I didn't see a point in following my dreams, because if there was a chance that I could do all this work and then lose everything in the blink of an eye, then I didn't really see a point. So I lost sight of my dreams of becoming an attorney, and I gave up for a while. And I graduated, I started working. I was in my early 20s, so I was having fun, okay? So that became my priority. But then I started hearing a tiny voice that said, "Didn't you say you wanted to go to law school?" And all the people that I had told started reminding me, "Ashley, didn't you say that you wanted to go to law school? I thought you were gonna be an attorney." I was being an attorney with my friends and my family, arguing them down about this, and that. And taking all that talent and that energy, I needed to put it somewhere that it would be of use to not just myself, but others. So eventually, my mind shifted back to focusing on actually making this dream of mine become a reality. And instead of thinking about the 50% chance of me possibly getting ill and losing my life at a young age, I started to think about the 50% chance that I could live and actually make my dreams come true. I started to realize that even if something were to happen to me, at least I could say I did as much as I could with the time that I had while I was here. And eventually I built up the strength and courage to pursue my dream again. And I attended the conference for a second time. And at that point, I had just taken the LSAT for the second time. I had gotten a pretty good score, and I left with friends that would become family. And even I got some really good picks for some law schools while I was there. So make sure y'all take advantage of the law school fair. It is so important. Talk to anyone at every school. Don't think that there is any school that is unattainable for you. Any school that you're dreaming of, they're there because they need you there. Okay? So the third time I attended the conference, I was representing my law school, the Howard University School of Law. Okay? At the time, I had started the Fashion Law Society at Howard with a colleague of mine, and I was working hard, busy, and I had even started working on my MBA while I was at Howard Law School. I had already there was already this fire burning in me to work in fashion and work with creatives and entrepreneurs, and I wanted to make sure that I was coming to being able to service my clients with like a full holistic approach of being able to talk law and also the business side of things. So the fourth time I attended the conference was my first time as a licensed attorney working for the federal government. And I was working for the Small Business Administration. I was the very first Black attorney in my office. I was also the first highest ranked attorney in my office. So, and some people have already mentioned this, don't think that the firsts are done. There are still plenty of opportunities for you to be the first. They just need to see you and see you for who you are and appreciate you, and you can take it from there. And now there's been plenty of Black attorneys ever since I started in that office. At the time, I was doing really well, and they were even talking about appointing me to become a judge, but I knew that that was not my path. So today, on November 15, 2024, I stand before you on the third anniversary of me quitting my job, leaving DC, and driving to New York City. I literally, on this day, 3 years ago, drove to New York City and started my law firm. Thank you. So now the way I describe my journey, it might seem like it was straight and narrow, but it was anything but. And that's one thing to remember. This is a journey, and it's gonna take you all kinds of which ways that you're like, what is going on? Whiplash gonna happen, all kinds of stuff is gonna happen. But just keep moving forward. That's number one, keep going no matter what. That is what makes that's what makes the difference between where you are right now and actually making it to where you're trying to go. No matter what I faced, I did not allow the challenges and obstacles to stop me from the calling that I know that God placed on my life. A calling to be of service by protecting and empowering creatives and entrepreneurs so that they can live out their dreams, especially for the ones that look like me. Because we already know we are the culture, and it needs to be protected and preserved for us. So even when barely anyone understood what I was trying to do by becoming a fashion attorney, and when people laughed at me, I didn't allow any of that to sway me to quit, because my calling was not a conference call. It was a call between me and God. Now I have clients who are winning major fashion awards and are being featured in some of the biggest fashion publications in the world. And I'm just getting started. So I want to leave that with you so that you know that anything that you dream of is possible. Nothing is unattainable for you. If it's in you, it's there for a reason. It's meant for it to come out. And if you don't allow it to come out, it's always going to stay with you. I can attest to that 100%. There were so many times that I wanted to give up throughout this process. Even to this day, I still have days when I'm like, ooh, Lord, are you sure? Because it's looking real shaky right now. And I always get reassurance that I'm on my right path in one way or another. So just a few notes. Proclaim your dreams to people that you trust. We've already heard this quite a bit. Not also because, you got to protect what you're building, but also so that they will remind you of what you told them when you're in those high points, when you're in those low points. So that they can remind you and hold you accountable that whatever you said that you were going to do, you're actually going to do it. We've heard this a lot too. Commit to your why. really, really explore why you want to become an attorney. It most likely is something outside of yourself. It's not just about you. It's about who you can provide service to, because we are so needed. We already know just numbers, right? 5% of attorneys are Black. What's our percentage in this country? Like 15? Okay, we should be serving every Black person, okay? So we're needed in this space. Commit to your why. Read your own book. In those moments of doubt, which I experienced so much of that in law school, like never before, remember everything that you've already done in your life. Remember all the obstacles that you've already overcome and apply that to this situation. If you got over those things, you can get over anything that stands in your way from where you are to getting to where you're trying to go. Celebrate your wins, big and small. Don't just let all these things that you do and all these accomplishments that you achieve just roll off your back. I'm not saying you got to be like cocky about it, but just know who you are, so that when you're walking in these different rooms where you might be the only one, you remember everything that it took to get you there. And you remember who you are and the type of person that you are, and you know that you were supposed to be in that room. Check your ego, though. Comparison is the thief of joy, but pride is the thief of progress. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't avoid doing things that are difficult because it makes you feel like you're inadequate. One example of this for me was with the LSAT logic games. I avoided them like the plague, okay? I wanted to do all the other parts of the exam because they were easier, and I was like, yay, I'm doing so well. That's those parts of it that you're not doing so well in, that's where you have the most opportunity to increase your score. And that applies to so many areas of your life, whether in your personal life and in your professional life. Don't be afraid to do things that are hard. Even if you feel like you're coming up against something that you've never come up before, if you did it once, you can do it again. Network like crazy. You're gonna be in rooms with a lot of brilliant people. And in some cases, it's like, well, where do I fall in all of this? Well, of course, the law school ranking is gonna kind of tell you a little bit, but that's where your personality, your interests, your passions, your individuality come into place. And so when you are networking with people, you can gravitate towards the people that you connect with naturally. And sometimes when people are looking at just a resume and comparing them, they might look exactly the same. And the only difference is, I know this person. Oh, let me move her application to the top of the pile. So make sure that you're networking with people. And of course, to get ahead, but also to connect and see how you can be of service to other people as well. Listen to your inner guide, whoever that is. For me, it's God, whether it's your intuition, just your inner voice, whatever it is. Make sure that you are tapping in with yourself. Because when you get into this space, I mean, already it's starting. We're giving you lots of advice. Right? But you have to realize what resonates with you and what is just like, that ain't for me. And you have to make sure that you're checking in with yourself about what it is that is important to you, what your values are, what your goals are, what your interests are. So you don't get lost in the sauce, because it's very, very easy to get almost brainwashed into thinking these are the only ways to make this happen. And like Attorney Mack said, you can do whatever you want, honestly. You really can. With a law degree, it opens up every kind of door. I think the only thing I can think of that you probably can't do is become a doctor. But you can almost do anything with a law degree. So don't ever think that anything is unattainable for you as you chart your path. It might look a little bit different, but just know that you might get a little creative with it, but it can become what you want it to become. And lastly, never settle. This is something that I live by. In my personal life, in my professional life. Do not settle. Don't let anybody tell you can only have this or you can only be this. If it's in your heart to be more than that, then know that it is available to you if you truly, truly believe that. So it might take longer, it might be harder, but if it's what's really for you, it's worth it. And so I leave that with you. I just want to say I am so proud of every single person that is here. Like I said, 15 years ago when I was 5, I was where you are. And just know that this is just the beginning of your journey. It's going to be rocky. It's going to be smooth sometimes. You're going to have highs. You're going to have lows. But just ride the wave. Just ride the wave, and you will get exactly where it is that you're trying to go. And remember that the sky is the limit. Thank you.